Hello, everybody. Welcome in, welcome back, guys. We were just talking about not gaming, but we're talking about gaming now. Today, we're going to talk about some of the changes coming to Elder Scrolls Online, specifically with the Dragon Knight. I will talk briefly about some of the changes, my thoughts, because I didn't do a stream earlier in the week because I was under the weather. But yeah, mostly we're going to be talking about the Dragon Knight today. My guys, the really short, the TLDR. Too long didn't read. Hey, what up, Luna? On the changes coming for 2026 here is I had to think about the year. Um, oh God, I should clear the comments here. Here, let me clear the. We were talking about politics. Sorry, I'm clearing the comments. Well, let me see. I know. Boss Boss says, I know it will make things better. Let's call each other. Oh God, never mind. Boss, we're done with politics. We're talking about games. It was a joke, but yeah, let's not even go there. Uh, Redcanist is here, Daedric says. Yeah, I think the changes are, guys, we're adding up. The information is adding up to the point where there is hope, and there's becoming more and more reason to hope that ESO is turning over a new leaf, and they are doing things they haven't done before. And I think that is great news, and I think it's really cool to hear. Let me get this post up. Here we go. Got to put in her date of birth here. Oh, probably wasn't born in the year 0 something. Is 99 old enough? Oh my God, 99 is probably old enough. All right, cool. All right. Does Dragon Knight get a beam? They do get like a 4-second channel, Vatcher. It's kind of wild. But okay. So Luna said she could hang out for a bit. Luna, I want to respect your time. I just want to read through so everybody's on the same page, and then you and anybody else who wants to jump in, who's the normal suspects, can jump in, Daedric or whoever, if you guys want, if you are up for it. Let me see. Yeah, I think the changes are good, guys. I think some folks, I don't listen. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, right? I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. I do think that there are some peeps that are thinking like they're seeing things, and I think there's a little bit of wishful thinking, where they're like, sorry, my OBS is causing me problems right now. I think there are some peeps that are um thinking, like, a lot of people read, oh, they're improving the monetization, is one of the things I've heard, and I just want to say that is by everything I can tell, that is not what is actually going on. I think that what they're doing is they're trying to move the monetization over to best practices, from like what ZOS was doing to what Microsoft knows is like a best practice with the battle passes, and kind of a more free to play model. Those changes should help their player retention numbers, should help their monetization and whatever, which I don't care about. But I think it could also be something that players like more, which I do like. So I think that's what some people are saying. I don't think I don't trust them. They're not going to do anything monetization wise that is like pro consumer. Like, I don't think they're suddenly turning pro consumer. So I'm not nearly as excited about it. Nor do I think that there is objectively as much of a reason to be excited about, the new like stuff or whatever. Not that much. There's reason to be excited, but I don't think it's as, I think some people are a little bit more excited than maybe is warranted. I would be a little bit more reticent about it, is the main thing, right? The zeros are already adults. The new changes give everyone a beam to rival the Arcanist beams. I mean, a little bit. It might be the idea, Vatra. In which case, I'm here for it, man, honestly. Funny how you avoid zeros sometimes to make sure you're old enough to access the page. Yeah. 99 is still quite a bit older than me. I had no idea, Luna. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Maybe it's just me, but considering this is a new dev team, so it's not a fully new dev. It's not a new dev team, and they are intent on listening to us. I think we should be less critical and more encouraging when it comes to changes. I think we should be just as critical and more hopeful and very encouraging whenever they do good things. So I'm largely on the same page. We still want to be just as critical. We don't want to be. We don't want to be as. So here's the thing, man. Like Voss Boss. The thing is that like they they made this bed, and not that many people have actually turned over. It's under new leadership, and I am hopeful. And so far, what we've seen is the leadership is doing the right thing. Hate to tell you, but I'm 0-1, and I've been working legally for 10 years. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I guess yeah. I mean, I guess thinking about that now, that makes sense now that I think about my age. Man, he not busy being born is busy dying. Are you gonna sell like Simpsons polymorphs? Are they gonna sell like Simpsons? Nah, chainsaw. Nah, nothing that crazy. Yeah. Not yeah. Voss Boss, I'm with you. I want to be positive. I just the main thing I try to make sure is I am realistic. And that's why I'm like, hey, some of this monetization stuff, guys, all they're spinning it like they're doing everything for the players. Some of that is just corporate BS. What they're doing is they're updating their monetization to be an industry best practice. That's what they're doing. And I don't think that a lot of streamers even know that stuff because I don't think a lot of people study and from the developer and from the games company perspective as much as I do. Honestly, I think that's why a lot of you guys like because I do that. I was earlier. I sometimes sit on things that are meant for developers, guys, and I watch stuff that are meant for developers and meant for games companies. I do that in my free time so that I have better info for you guys. It's nothing magical or amazing. I don't know that much, but that's part of the reason why you get a different take from me. I think it's fair to give praise when it's warranted. Repeated. I'm sorry, I don't know what WS is. Are good reason to be positive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when the changes are good, so let me talk about it. So the solo dungeons, amazing. Absolutely love that, right? Like I love the solo dungeons. That's a great idea. It's just more arenas, basically, is all it is. I mean, it's a dungeon, so it's a different format, so that's good. Love that. I wish they would do more of that. I also heard confirmed Daedric. I didn't even read that stuff, man. I was doing other stuff, man. But Daedric sent me something say that it sounds like it's confirmed that we're going to get 2 trials. Is that true, Daedric? 1 mini trial, 1 full trial. I am friggin' stoked about that. I talked about that being a possibility like 3 or 4 years ago, and for it to actually coming out like, and that's awesome. Yeah. uh, uh, oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I know, but remember, this is the ESO community. Half of them can't read, so critical and bloodlusted are kind of the same thing. All right. Daedric need to upgrade Knight to UNC. So the second trial is a bit of a mystery. It's part of the night market, and it's a 12-player instance content. Okay. All right. Hey, man, that's cool. That's awesome. That is awesome. They shouldn't call it a trial so they can trick people into doing it. All right, we got to manage time. We got to jump into this. Let's do it. Okay, so what do we got here? So leaping into the Dragon Knight class refresh. Yes, delve into the earthen heart of the major changes and improvements coming to the Dragon Knight class. ESO's combat team has returned to. I'm reading this mostly for the. I've read the first part, but I haven't read all this, guys. I had stuff going on today. Unexpectedly, ESO's combat team has returned to provide an update on the ongoing class refresh work. Specifically, they're taking you through the Dragon Knight changes you can expect to find in Update 49, going live for all platforms on March 9th. And I think PTS is Monday, right? Part patch notes, part developer deep dive. This breakdown delves into the team's thoughts and process behind almost every change to the Dragon Knight. Be warned, it's a long read. Yeah, I know it is. Again, on them being more open and transparent, so far they've delivered on that promise, and good job, team. Pats on back. The night market is also limited time, which is strange. Interesting. Hey, everybody. As we mentioned in our class refresh announcement, in an effort to modernize ESO classes, address overall combat balance, improve look and feel, alleviate the subclassing concerns, changes are coming to the class. The first class we're looking at is the Dragon Knight. One thing I would say that I've noticed is that a lot of it is it seems like combat balance is one part, and I think most of us were thinking that that was the big thing. And I think from Zoss's perspective, the look and feel is a big part of it. Is a bigger part, or as big of a part as is the subclassing concerns. So I think that the look and feel is a big part of it. And hey, I think that's great for the game. I think a lot of people, I'm going to love it, and I think a lot of other people are too. So it's good. As developers, we look at design from the perspective of problem spaces, which identifies issues that need to be resolved. We can identify these spaces through metrics, player feedback, surveys, our own playthroughs, etc. Through this process, we come up with solutions to any identity problem spaces in the form of designs, which lead to what you get in the game. Yeah, I don't. So, as far as like problem spaces, if you want to call it that, I would say currently, right now, my biggest concern with the game is the fact that it's not working right a lot of times, and skills aren't going off and that kind of stuff. That has gotten pretty bad. It seems like it's been better in recent weeks, but I don't know if it's a server thing or whatever. But I think it's one of the biggest problems, and no one has said anything about it yet. And they need to address it. I think it could just be really server issues. They need more, better, whatever. Like it shouldn't be a problem, and it as bad as it is right now, and it's worse than it's ever been in recent memory. What's up, Frog? Yeah, the game performance is atrocious. Yeah, and I don't hear any of them talking about that. And it's like, do you guys know this is a problem? I don't know. It's so bad I get issues in moderate population zones. Yeah, Teleria boss room is painful. Yeah, yep. So they haven't said anything about that yet. And I think it's one of those things, guys. If you're on the forums, if you're giving them feedback, please give them feedback about the game performance, because it's an issue. Dragonite size problems. Based on your feedback, surveys, and in-game metrics, we have identified the following problem spaces to address within the Dragonite class. Yeah, whatever. They don't. I don't think they get the best feedback, because I think a lot of the people that used to give feedback have long since quit. But let's hope. Dragonites are currently portrayed as powerful attrition warriors. Dragonite and attrition is not. That's what they're just making up stuff. That's not a thing. But they lack the distinct ability functionality that helps bring this experience to life. All right, this is that they think that. I've never heard anybody describe Dragonites as attrition warriors or anything that is analogous to that. Besides Zoss. As an extension of this, the Dragon Knight's damage over time effects are built the same way as any other class, making gameplay across classes feel somewhat homogenized. This is a global issue. It especially hurts Dragon Knights. Okay. I mean, that's good. They're realizing that essentially all the classes are the same, and that's problematic. Not going to lie, calling it problem space is very corporate speak. Yeah, it does sound like corporate BS for sure. It's like some nonsense. Anyone else notice that now how half the skill effects are straight up disabled in the shard fight in LC? Oh. I haven't been in LC in a hot minute, Voss. Yeah, shard fight seems to disable a bunch of effects. Huh. I wonder if it's a rendering thing or a server thing, and they just know that because there's so much going on in that, and that's how they deal with it. That's interesting. Has it always been that way? Playing as a Dragonite can often feel swingy in combat moments with their ultimates and passives, which allow them to come back for the brink. While this is a very satisfying experience in some cases, such as Battle Roar, we want this to be a more central part of the Dragonite's rhythm in combat. Guys, does anybody feel like this is true? Does anybody feel like they're swingy or ever heard them described that way? Because I haven't. But I'm not a Dragonite main. Where it builds up to deliver eruptive, punctuated experiences like a volcano would. Yeah, I was thinking maybe in PvP. It's PvP talk, and it's somewhat true. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know what the split. Does anybody know what the rough split is on PvE versus PvP in ESO? It's just something I noticed on how many times I played it for farming. I would have expected it in the Chaos Ball portion. Oh yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about. Oh, you meant the shard fight. Oh, okay. Well, they keep using vague terms, so how would we judge that? Yeah, I'm not a DK main, but I think they are talking PvP. Yeah, skill lines are mostly focused on specific roles, while core functions are also split up. This makes Dragon Knight suffer while subclassing compared to a class like Arcanist or Necromancer, and it makes their lines less desirable to subclass into. For example, Burning Talons is locked behind an otherwise damage weak skill line, making a less optimal option to take despite being an iconic form of damage over time to the class. Dragon Knights are significantly less effective and differentiated in support roles, lacking core tools in their kits as well as a distinctive gameplay experience. I mean, this is true for healers and not at all true for tanks. Again, their communication, I just who writes this stuff? I think I have a guess. One of the major rules of the class refresh is making sure each class skill line offers something big and impactful for each role. Okay. All right. Dragon Knight solutions. To tackle the issues we mentioned above, we're looking to make the following high-level adjustments. All right. Drive home the sensation of attrition by introducing ramping effects such as the avalanche passive and the new engulfing dragonfire effect, which it gets stronger as you persist in active combat. Okay. So this is mostly an idea for PvP, I guess. This is, I mean, hopefully this is fun. I will say this can be problematic for PvE because I guess it's only a problem for like overland stuff, so maybe it's not really an issue. But okay, all right, all right. So they want it to make it feel like the longer a fight goes on, the stronger you're going to get. That's the rough idea. I'm here for it. Obviously, in PvP, this would matter. If you can stay engaged in combat, first of all, you should be able to stay engaged in combat, and then you should be able to win out over someone who has more bursty damage, for example. Yeah. They just need to revert the dot changes for DK and have them tick every second. Yeah. Uh, that was another example of things they did. They did some nonsensical things on. To capture that feeling of building and erupting power, combat should reinforce rotations and cycle with more clearly represented highs and lows. Okay. Combat should reinforce rotations and cycle with more clearly represented highs and lows. All right. I mean, sure. Dragon Knights will have more nuanced effects that drive their identity. They'll offer unique abilities or twists that other classes lack. Cool. To make them stand out contextually, such as unique damage over time functions with their own durations and damage values. Yes. Make them different than every other class. Yeah, absolutely. Improve the dispersion of role functionality among the Dragon Knight skill lines. Each skill line should offer something meaningful for your role while simultaneously making you pause to trade one of those skill lines for another in the context of subclassing. I mean, it sounds good on paper. Introduce more abilities and passives that aid in carving a niche in the support role. Which affects like, yeah, I mean, again, I imagine they're just talking about, I hope they're just talking about healers because they already have it in tanking. With effects like protect the brood, previously Dragonfire Scale, which gives range damage reduction to nearby group members. That sounds terrific. That sounds great. This kind of reads like there like an internal document that is may or may not have been modified to share with us, and I love that. Like if you're like outlining to your team, like, hey, if you're talking with each other, like, hey, what do we need to do? And they come up with a list of things. I mean, there's some stuff in here that is a little bit corpo or like a little bit like, wait, what are you talking about? But overall, like, this sounds really good. I really like it. And I honestly really like the new management. I like the way they are going about things in general, for sure. Z- yeah, Zoss probably doesn't know avalanches are made of snow. Yeah, yeah. Uh, 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 Avalanche is more PVE the way it is right now, but we will get there. Yeah. I know the name is technically accurate, but Avalanche should definitely have been called Landslide. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Protect the Brood. Ah, yes, this is perfectly perfect for my reads card. Daddy Dragon roleplay. You guys are right, but Landslide sounds so weak. You know, yeah, yeah. I mean, but an avalanche is like is the exact opposite of fire, so it's also kind of weird. But yeah, words have meanings. They should be used correctly. Protect the Brood is pretty weird. This it gives different vibes, but again, it's fine. I don't really care. I'm not nitpicking the choices they chose. The high level principles inform the more granular adjustments you'll see below from skill line to skill line and ability to ability. Cool. Yeah. Are we the Brood Mother? That's what I was thinking, Daedric. When it says Brood, I'm thinking like, or what is this, StarCraft, and we're like Kerrigan. I don't know what's yeah. Upcoming adjustments, skill line shuffle. In light of subclassing, we've decided to look at a skill line, ability, and passive distribution more closely than we have before. Could have done that before, but yeah, it wasn't this team's fault. There are currently two distinct models of building skill lines for classes: a rule-centric model, Necro, Arc, most of Warden, and one that focuses on theme or identity. The original four classes, with some exceptions such as Nightblade's assassination. Okay. Um, yeah, they're two distinct, models of building skill lines. Yeah, role centric one, and then one that focuses on. I don't know about theme and identity, um, but sure. What I mean, I guess whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and it was really weird that in the the Arcanist was really focused on that role centric model, and that was the newest class, and now they're going back to doing something different, the opposite or the other method, if you want to call it that, whatever. So yeah, it's pretty weird. It gives big chicken mom energy, and I'm all here for it. Okay, all right, all right. Sounds fiery to me. Okay. Oh, lava lanch. Oh yeah, that's great, Luna. That is good. I missed that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. Frog says, that's it. I'm gonna refer to Knight as the brood mother, whatever he's taking. Oh my god, please do. Uh, uh, oh my gosh. Mahalanir? Mahalanir? I'm probably butchering that. My apologies. I don't know why the insistence on mixing role skills within skill lines versus just making. I got it. Oh wow. Okay, amazing. I don't know why the insistence on mixing role skills within skill lines versus just making the skill lines align with the roles and competitive across classes. Yeah, I'm with you. Like I had convinced myself that they were not going to do it this way because I thought it was so much harder, but maybe they cooked. I don't know. We'll see. Brood Mom Gaming. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Boss. Thanks for that. If you mix it I'm sorry, if you mix it, then there is theory is more build diversity. No, yeah, if you mix it, there is way more build diversity. I just don't think they're gonna like. Are they gonna balance it? Or are they gonna screw it up really bad? That's Frog. That's why I thought they wouldn't do it this way because I thought it was gonna be a nightmare to balance. We shall see what they did. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Prior to subclassing, there was a strong internal sentiment that the newer class model of role specific skill lines was a more successful system for newer players. I mean, that's also true. It's very straightforward for players while still offering a lot of options. Building more digestible experiences and building more modular buckets that could be more easily compared and balanced to one another. Yeah, with subclassing, however, this model introduced a slew of challenges and imbalances where now the ideal way to play would involve picking the role specific line for every class. This created a sense that it was largely ineffective to stay true to your class, and that the power difference between those who do and do not was larger than any other build permutations before. Also a fair take. This also hurt and exasperated an already, I think exacerbated would be the word there, but exasperated an already existing problem of class identity, feeling like it took a backseat to gameplay. Yeah, I think there was a typo there. Okay. As such, we'll be adjusting skill lines to follow a more theme and identity focused model as we work on each class, where we blend a healthy mix of tools and effects for every role in each. Guys, I'm going to try to keep moving along here because I do know we have a lot to cover. It is our hope that every skill line will offer something you can use regardless of your role, while simultaneously spreading out the power that makes a class come to life and drive home the sensation that staying true to your class is also a much more viable option. I've heard this is true. Initial reports say this seems to be true, and people are here for it. And then they offered this picture. This mechanic doesn't. This is supposed to be Dragon's Breath, and it doesn't look like it, but it's fine. Fire and Fury in a class. Here's an outline of what each skill line will look like for the Dragon Knight. A crossed out name means the ability or passive has moved, while originally X denotes a rename or reworked effect. The movement of these abilities and passive does indeed change with which abilities and passives interact with one another and even other effects like class sets. So keep this in the back of your mind too. Okay. Interesting. We've also made adjustments to the movement of these abilities to ensure any previous progression is retained when an ability moves, and we will continue this effort through the class refresh. Cool. Cool. All right, we'll catch you later, Frog. Good luck on the GS. What'd I miss? You know what I also have? I have chat. I had the chat as, I need to remember to keep changing the chat. Because it's a problem with it not displaying everything. Because I think I missed something there. If you just have a dedicated role skill line, then the most optimal thing to do is just pick 3 trees of your role. It's why 3 were so many, Assassination, Herald, etc. comps. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I see the appeal, but it's just more complicated from a balancing perspective this way in a subclassing world. Yeah. I think the plan is to buff pure classes by making their kits more powerful while also spreading out the power that way subclasses combinations can't take full advantage of them. Yeah, my fear and my thinking they weren't going to do it this way was because they've never balanced the classes, generally speaking, completely since the start of the game. I don't know if it's ever been balanced in a way that the players were happy with. And so this being the harder way made me think that it would just be a balancing nightmare. But hey, new team, new ideas. Maybe they'll be able to do it, Okay, Ardent Flame. Dragon Knight Standard. That's staying the same. We got Lava Whip. Searing Strike. Fiery Breath is being changed to Core of Flame, originally Inhale. All right. And then Fiery Grip is changing to Hearthfire, originally Ash Cloud. Some of these names kind of suck, do they not? I'm not sure about Core of Flame and Hearthfire, honestly. I don't know. Their chief nameologist needs a rework, I think. Inferno. Passives, Combustion, Traumatic Burns, originally Warmth. Fan the Flames, originally Searing Heat. Whirled Ruin is being changed to a Soul Ablaze, originally Burning Heart. Okay. Sure. Okay. These names are sus. I think the plan is to buff pure classes. Oh, wait. So, for example, if they take half the crit chance from Assassination, put it in Shadow, and also buff Shadow, Nightblade gets buffed, but subclasses with Assassination get nerfed and stays the same. Yeah, that's fair. If you make each skill line roll a sign, you will never have pure class anymore. Yeah. Yeah. The names are Terrible Night. you you'll have a hard time on that. They changed just for the sake of changing. Okay, it does seem like that. Actually, like Hearthfire is very cozy and fits with what they are going for, but apparently Skinny hates it. I mean, it does feel cozy. It does feel like a cozy game. It feels like this is like is ESO a cozy game now? Draconic Power, Dragon Leap. Then we got Spiked Armors being changed to Dragonfire Breath, originally Fiery Breath. Um, you could just say Dragonfire, right? Like it, dragons, dragons don't cast fire some other way. Um, Dark Talons, Dragon Blood. That's the like solo the single target heal. Uh, Wing Buffet. Originally Protective Scale. It's pronounced Buffet. Yeah, okay. That's funny. Yeah, Wing Buffet would be fun. Buffet is to like, yeah, to hit somebody, as opposed to buffet. Uh, Wing Buffet is kind of funny though, and I do want to say it that way now. Uh, or Dragon Breath. Yeah. Any number of things. Chains of Flame, originally Fiery Grip. Um, yeah, passives. Burnished Scales, originally Iron Skin. World and Ruin is the new Burning Heart, or Burning Heart is being changed to World and Ruin. Elder Dragon, and then Skilled Armor is being changed to the Storm Voice. Okay, originally Battle Roar. All right, I think it's like a callback to Skyrim, right? Oh man, it's a wing buffet, guys. It's like it's 2026 is the year of the dragon chicken. Yeah. Earth and Heart, we've got Magma Armor, Superheated Ward, originally Stone Fist. Okay. What did they do with Stone Fist? Molten Weapons, Obsidian Shield, Petrify, Ash Cloud is being changed to Earth Spike Mantle. Uh, yeah, okay, all right. Originally Spiked Armor. I mean, yeah, okay, all right. Passives, Eternal Mountain is being changed to Heart of Stone. Okay, originally Scaled Armor. Uh, yeah, I mean, that one's good. I like that one, I think. Heart of Stone is pretty good. Battle Roar is being changed to Avalanche. Uh, yeah, about that. About that, guys. I don't know. I don't know about this Avalanche thing. Blessing of the Peak, originally Mountain's Blessing. Okay. I think Mountain's Blessing was better. Was it not? Mountain Giant, originally Helping Hands. Okay. All right. I mean, these are fine. Hey, Orden, what's going on? Thanks for the happy Friday. I'm hungry now, Luna says. Hopefully they obliterated Stonefist. I hate that skill. Yeah. Luna might come find you if you talk bad about her Stonefist. Additional changes and improvements. We've also made a series of additional tweaks, fixes, and improvements to the Dragon Knight class. Yeah, Luna's like, don't say that. Okay, guys, I don't know if you saw the visuals in the preview they gave the other day and the sounds and everything. It's pretty dope. It sounds a lot better. No visual and sound effects to every single Dragonite ability. Updated animations for the following Dragonite abilities. Some of these are completely new, while others are polished to existing animations. Okay. Dragonite Standard and its morphs. Okay. Man, I'm just thinking like Dragonite Standard wasn't bad, but that's cool. Improved it. Lava Whip and its morphs. These look and sound way better. My only complaint is that Devo's Whip It should come on whenever you use this skill. That's my main complaint. Searing Claws and its morph. Okay. They also now alternate from a right and left variant as you cast the ability. Oh, cool. Okay. All right. Core of Flame, originally Inhale and its morph. Okay. Or its morphs, rather. like most of these skills, I'm not going to read through all these. So like most of the skills, it feels like. I mean, how many is this? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, so like I'm a little that's like all the skills, is it not? Like pretty much everything. Added cool new flavor text to all passive abilities in the Dragon Knight skill lines. You know what? Like this is so if they didn't make massive changes and actually make these skills better, this would be incredibly annoying. But since they are and they better, I'm cool with it. I think it's great. It's like one of these things they have tried in the past to change the flavor text without changing the skill. And the flavor text also was like nonsense compared to what the skill actually did. And it was super I didn't like it at all. It was bad. It was bad. It's like it felt like gaslighting or like propaganda. But with the major changes and stuff like that, it's cool. Yeah, it seems like they're delivering. They do need to deliver on the change to actual gameplay, but if they do that, they're crushing it. Blessing of the Peak sounds like the devs were trying to reach the word cap limit. Yeah, a little bit. Didn't they retain the roundhouse empowered whip animation? Please tell me they did. I don't know about the roundhouse, but I think the initial whip looks better and it sounds better. I don't know if the actual animation is that much different, but I mean you see it here. I think the visual on it and the audio are better. I'm a numbers person. I'd rather zero flavor text. Yeah, yeah. Well, what you would like is for the flavor text to direct players into a good choice that works well. I haven't seen anything that makes the pure DK any better or more competitive than a subclassed one. Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet either, Jalovian, but I think that I'm told that there is some stuff, so we'll see. Renamed many Dragonite abilities to better align with their function and overall lore, which is good. All sources of poison damage have been updated to flame damage in the Dragonite kit. These changes were made to better focus on the core fantasy of the Dragonite, where many affixes didn't work, synergize, or coherently mesh with poison across the entire kit. We'll be reintroducing poison damage elsewhere in the game with other class refreshers. Okay, where it fits in the overall theme and said class rather than being tacked on. That's wild. Okay, that's a lot. Wow. Was guys, I know Skinny Cheeks gets the info early. I haven't seen his video. How was it? Anybody give me a short recap or I mean, what all you thought? I mean, it's Skinny Cheeks, so I'm sure it's good. Did he have a lot of insights or anything? Specific Dragonite ability changes and anything that hasn't been covered? He didn't have this info early. Oh, okay. Okay. Specific Dragonite ability changes. For Update 49, we made the following changes to the Dragonite skill lines and abilities. These details are typically found. Well, he had this stuff on Wednesday, right? Unless he did that live, unless he did a live recording. Because he released a video that same day, like within a couple of hours, but maybe he did a live recording and made a video. He had to have had that early, I would think. I don't know what the video, maybe he didn't. These details are typically found in the patch notes. We wanted to delve a little deeper and share more of our thoughts surrounding each change with you. Ardent Flame, Dragonite Standard. All right, this ultimate and the standard of Might Morph now no longer deal damage to enemies inside or apply major defile. Instead, these ultimates grant you and up to 11 allies standing in the area increase weapon and spell damage 375 and reduce the damage taken by 12%. This is awesome. This is amazing. This is the kind of thing that we want. We have a unique ability. You only need one, but it provides damage mitigation and weapon and spell damage. This is awesome. Standard of Might, this morph significantly increases these bonuses for the caster of the ultimate, adds 425 weapon and spell damage and 13% damage taken in addition to the base. Shifting standard, this morph continues to work as originally designed, dealing damage and applying major defile rather than the new functionality. Oh, okay. So this would be like the PvP morph then, is probably what this will turn into. I mean, that's cool. And you can recast it. Straightforward and seems like a great change. This is a support ulti now, but very strong. Yeah. The DK update, no. The 20. Wait. Oh, well, shoot. This change just killed one of my characters. He was a manic alchemist who had themed around poison damage. Ah, okay. Yeah, that is kind of a bummer. I'm sorry. Rip that character. People are sad because they lost one of the strongest offensive skills, but we got a very new support one, so I'm fine. Yeah. And honestly, it feels better the standard theme to be support. Yeah, agree. And I also I'm not a huge DK player, and I'm not emotionally attached to most things, to be honest with you. So I don't really care for that. Also, I'm sorry, guys. I could have made this much bigger. There we go. Maybe there. I am so sorry. I should have done that a long time ago. Where are we at? Sorry, now I gotta. So that was. Oh man, yeah, that got us all discombobulated. All right, so Lava Whip. This ability now becomes Volcanic Whip for 7.9 seconds after it damages an off-balance enemy. The time window activation could occur only once every 20 seconds. Volcanic Whip costs half as much, deals 33% more damage, and deals its damage in a 5-meter radius around the original target. This change was made to help introduce the Flame Lash morph gameplay element sooner, while also making the window of interaction with off balance less restrictive. My only problem with this is off balance is not telegraphed in game. Besides, I think you can get text now. That I don't want to play a text-based game. They should have and should figure out a way to implement so that we can see when a target is off balance, not just off balance popping up on my screen. That's incredibly detrimental to immersive gameplay. You now get a guaranteed window of time after hitting the off-balance target rather than being forced to drop everything you're doing. Sorry, moving around here on accident. You now get a guaranteed window of time after hitting the off-balance target rather than being forced to drop everything you're doing while off-balance is active. Okay. These abilities no longer set immobilized or stunned enemies off-balance. So it's a little bit easier for rotation is basically what they're saying here. And in theory, you'll see a timer on your bar, which will help you out to be able to use it effectively. And then they no longer set immobilize or stun enemies off balance. We've sourced off balance on a new passive you'll read about later in a different skill line. These notes are great, but that's interesting. Flame Lash. This morph now heals you anytime the ability deals damage rather than only when the Power Lash version is active. This morph sees the same changes to active Power Lash as the base ability does. Okay, so this is a good solo, potentially PvP version of the skill. That's great. I think more classes need a way of just healing themselves. Why does a Flame Lash heal you? Inquiring minds want to know, but sure. Molten Whip, this morph continues to rework the ability into a more self-contained building effect. Focused on high single target burst damage. It remains split in cost of magic and stamina, but now generates stacks when using any Dragonite ability other than itself. Okay. Instead of only building on Ardent Flame abilities. I think that's a good change. I like that. This should make the build-up more rewarding while using a more Dragonite ability-heavy rotation and feeling more organic and rhythmic to use. Adjusted the stack bonus to 33% per stack, up from 20%, but reduced the duration at 10 seconds, down from 15 seconds, to account for the new ability timers. Okay. As long as it doesn't make the rotation too difficult for people, I think that's fine. Agreed. This should not be the kind of thing we need add-ons for in regards off balance, I think. Necker will be interesting. Yeah. Molten Whip will pretty much hit like a bow proc now. Oh. Yeah? Yeah. Guess so. Searing Strike, this ability and its morphs. I don't think it's that bad because you don't have to. Oh, this one does do stacks. Yeah. Okay, and then yeah, does it say? Hold on. Does it talk about stacks though? Yeah. Is it 5 stacks? Yeah, it like almost exactly. That's really fair, Luna. I'm sorry. I'm yeah, that's a really good point. I think the flame lash heals you because like you burning your opponent and using their flesh to fuel your flames. Yeah. It's double damage when stacked. 3 stacks. Oh, okay. Wait, I thought they said it went to 20. Oh no, it went to 33 up from 20. Okay, my bad. Okay. At least that's different. You know. 3 stack. Okay, yeah. I mean, well, I wonder what the rotation is like. It sounds like it might be quite a bit different. Searing Strike, this ability and its morph now lasts 10 seconds, down from 20 seconds, but deal 50% more damage per second to make up for their shorter duration. Guys, I'm just going to read through these so we can get through them. My apologies. Venomous Claw, this morph has been reworked to Searing Claw, which I won't just read through them, but I'll try to keep it brief. Which deals flame damage instead of poison damage. It remains a stamina morph that increases damage per tick, which has been increased to match the same power increase with the shorter duration. Okay. Cool. Burning Embers, the heal from this morph now scales off max health rather than damage done to offer a more helpful tool for tanks to gain some staying power in combat. I like it. Core of Flame, this ability and its morph no longer deal damage instantly or heal for the damage caused. These abilities now restore 50% of your missing magic and stamina 3 times over 4 seconds. They continue to deal damage around you after the duration ends. Okay. Cool. Soul of Flame, originally Deep Breath. This morph continues to add an interrupt on the initial activation, but now interrupts after a 350 millisecond delay instead of instantly for better visual syncing and counterplay. This morph also continues to increase the damage of the explosion, which has an increase to a 33% bonus up from 25%. Cool. Heart of Flame, originally Draw Essence. This morph now heals you for 50% of your missing health each tick. It no longer adds magicka when damaging enemies, as the function of the resource recovery is now a part of the base ability. Okay. Yeah. This is interesting. To allow you to... Does this have any, like, major changes overall to your staying power for particularly AoE heavy fights? I would think this is much more. 15% if you're missing. Oh, just if you're missing magic and stamina, 3 seconds. I don't know. I'm not sure. Hearthfire, this ability in the original Cinderstorm morph now grant minor fortitude and heroism to allies inside the area. Okay, rather than slowing enemies' movement speed by 70%. Huh. We increase the radius to 8 meters up from 5 meters on all versions of this ability, because that's a new melee range. That's all that is. Melee range used to be 5 meters. Firekeeper, originally Cinderstorm, this morph continues to increase healing effectiveness by 50%, but now only does it so the caster is inside the area of effect. To make up for this, however, it also causes minor fortitude and heroism to stick to allies for 15 seconds after being healed. Okay. Hearth and Home, originally Eruption. This morph no longer reworks the ability into a damaging effect and instead remains a healing effect. This morph continues to reduce enemy movement speed inside the area by 70%. This morph now also grants the caster major protection while inside the area to help the ability be more valuable to tanks. Cool. All right. Yeah, I feel like I need to go back through and read these like 3 times, but we'll just keep moving on. Inferno, this ability in the Flames of Oblivion morph now fire a massive wave of flame in an 8-meter radius rather than firing a limited number of fire. Okay, of fireballs to enemies in a 50-meter radius. Interesting. This removes the original target cap of the ability. We increase the cost to 4,500 per activation, up from 2,160 to account for the new area melting potential. We reduce the chance of applying the burning status effect to 5%, down from 10% to account for these changes. Okay, incinerate originally flames with so um I don't like this. Flames of Oblivion was actually pretty cool for several situations, and I kind of like the way it is. So I don't like this specific change. I thought as a heal, it did some really cool stuff, and I thought as a damaging ability, it was really interesting to be like a AOE spammable, which is how it was used a lot of times. Um, with all of the changes combined, we'll have to see how that works out. But on my first take, I don't necessarily love it. Like an 8-meter radius is basically melee, so it's an AOE melee skill. Um, and they doubled the cost, so you can I mean, it makes sense. Inferno would be able to melt things. Is the other morph going to still heal? Incinerate originally Flames of Oblivion. This morph. Oh wait, is it? Yeah, Inferno's the non-morph version, right? And then they didn't say anything. Yeah, I don't know. This morph now does 10% more damage and has a 15% base chance of applying burning. Now the morphs can no longer increase target count. All right. I've literally never used Inhale a single time. It's still unmorphed, so I can't say. Oh my god. It's double damage when stacked 3 times. Okay. I think the flame. Oh, never mind. We already talked about that. It is stronger now, but people really like the way Fu was. It's stronger for damage. What about healing? Is it just the visuals that change basically? On inhale did change its functionality. The core result and like net effect of inhale changing. I think we'll have to. I think we'll have to see overall. Um, it looks like they changed some things to make it, but like overall made some improvements without drastically retooling that particular skill. If I'm understanding everything correctly, which I'm questionable of. They said nothing about cauterize. I would assume unchanged. Okay. I guess we'll see. Um, and if you can use it with other, with the rest of the skill line as healing, because that's what would matter. It was a good skill. It didn't necessarily need to be changed from a healing perspective. However, um, however, you need a reason to take the rest of the skill line is the major problem there. Combustion. This passive now grants you 112 magic and stamina at rank 1 and 225 at rank 2 when applying burning with an ardent flame ability slotted with a 1-second cooldown, rather than 211 magic and stamina at rank 1 and 423 at rank 2 when applying burning and poison with a 3-second cooldown. This passive no longer increases the damage done by burning or poisoned. The burning part has moved to a different passive and has been improved. Okay. Wow. All right. Traumatic burns originally warmth. This passive now causes enemies you're damaging with the direct ardent flame ability to take 5% increased damage while reducing their movement speed by 15% at rank 1 and 30% rank 2 for 5 seconds, rather than increasing your damage over time effects against them by 3% at rank 1 and 6% at rank 2, reducing their movement speed by 15% at rank 1. Like these ranks kind of don't even matter because you quickly get them up to max. So 30% at rank 2 for 3 seconds. This is now where the old engulfing flame effect lives, and it should be easier to keep up. Cool. Fan the flames, originally searing heat. This passive now increases your chance of applying burning by 25% at rank 1 and 50% at rank 2, and the damage it does by 12% at rank 1 and 25% at rank 2. These values increase by 5% at rank 1, 10% at rank 2, and 2% at rank 1 and 5% at rank 2. Jesus, this is hard to read. Per Dragonite ability slotted, this passive no longer extends the duration or the damage of some of your Ardent Flame abilities. Okay. Of some of them? Soul Blaze, originally Burning Heart. This passive now increases your healing taken at all times by 4% at rank 1. So it increases all of by 9% when meeting certain conditions, which I guess we don't know. Okay, so increase healing taken, so it's a tank ability. All right, Draconic Power, Dragon Leap. We rebuilt how this ability handles the movement aspect under the hood to be more modern, fixing numerous inconsistencies compared to other movement abilities and unique bug cases. We fixed numerous issues with the knockback being desynced from the actual damage impact. I mean, these are all good. These have been problems for a while, which should also make it easier to counteract the CC effects of an opponent. This ability and the Take Flight morph now deal damage rather than physical damage, flame damage rather than physical damage. We reduce the damage of the base ability by about 16% to account for the damage change, as there are numerous ways to amplify this effect back to a similar or higher values. Cool. Leap looks crazy. All right. Lame passive. Yeah. Take Flight. This morph now fills you with Draconic Fury for 15 seconds after activation, which increases your damage done by 10% and doubles against monsters. Okay. So that's like the damage morph for DK. This morph no longer extends the range or reduces the cost. We decrease the base damage by about 90% to account for other potential damage changes. Ferocious Leap. This morph now instantly applies the damage shield for 10 seconds instead of applying it after a delay for 6 seconds, increasing the potency by about 4%. This morph now knocks enemies up rather than away to make it more tank friendly so they can control the fight rather than disrupt it. Yeah, and really any DPS who use this and you were like, what are you doing? Because it just like in PvE, when you had a PvP player come into a dungeon and they leapt in the middle of a group of mobs and scattered them to the four winds, it was enough to piss you off. Leap new DPS ulti, honestly, with how much it's spammed by low-level DKs kind of based. Hey, yeah, that's a fair point, you know? I always, maybe it's just like low-level DKs. I just always thought it was the PvP players, but maybe it's a little bit of both. Depending on feedback, we may make this change to crowd control a universal one, as there's value in many cases to have it be less disruptive. The only reason we haven't so far is because it takes away some of that badass feeling of crashing down like a dragon and pushing foes back in all directions. Let us know your thoughts. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I like it. I'm sorry, the missus needs these strong muscles to help her open a jar. Ah. Taya! That was hard. My hands hurt. No, I was just joking. What do we got? Where were we? Decreasing the duration to 10 seconds, down from 20 seconds. Yeah. And the damage, this is Dragon Fire Breath, originally Fiery Breath. Okay. So duration is halved. Damage per tick up by 50%. It's now a stamina ability as its base. Disintegrating Dragon Fire, originally Noxious Breath. Oh, here's where we're going to get some interesting one. Hey, what's up, Rev? So, see, told you she'd appreciate those muscles. Yeah, there you go. Disintegrating Dragonfire, originally Noxious Breath. This morph now deals flame damage rather than poison damage. It remains a stamina ability and continues to add Major Breach while applying the respective status effect, now burning, to all enemies affected by the initial hit. Okay. Engulfing Dragonfire, originally Engulfing Flame. This morph is now the Rework morph, which costs Magicka instead of stamina. This morph now channels the flame attack in front of you over 4.8 seconds. Wow. 4.8? Wait. Isn't that longer than... That's even longer than the beam, right? And deals 20% increased damage when it hits an enemy, up to once every second, and up to a maximum of 80%. While Take Flight is active, this deals maximum damage. The damage is considered direct damage. What does it mean by maximum? Maximum damage. It's considered direct damage. So is this like a DK's version of a beam then, right? 50 pounds lighter, and I may not have gotten that open. That's fair. You guys are funny. 80% all the time without having to stack. Oh, that's what they mean. That's what they mean. Ah, okay. So I Take Flight. Okay, so that's the combo there. Wow. All right. Yeah, beam. For being called a Dragon Knight, the class has always been missing the most iconic feeling of being a dragon, unleashing unabated flame upon their foes with a channeled flame breath. That's fair. That's based. We also realize that many of our players have expressed a desire to enjoy the game at a slower pace, and we've introduced similar attacks into higher levels of play with heavy attack builds and Fate Carver. We want to make sure there are more flavors to this experience, each with their own distinctions on how to build and play. This morph won't be bringing the same heat as either of those builds alone, but it should help take some pressure off constantly needing to hold to press down the gas pedal, i.e. buttons. Yeah, this is a huge change. This is probably the biggest change we've looked at so far as like DPS are concerned, for sure. Kind of just period, honestly. Because I didn't see a whole lot of healer changes yet. Hardly any, right? But this is really cool. Yeah, I actually haven't seen hardly any healer changes now that I think about it. Besides maybe you run standard. But yeah, this is super cool. 4.8 seconds is a lot of eternities. I will definitely be taking my hands off the keyboard. I think it's cool. I think the RP of it is good to have no real issues. I mean, that is the problem. They introduced the beam, and so everybody kind of needs a beam, you know? We'll get there. Okay. I cool on the healing stuff. Deadly strikes, stonks continue to rise. Dark Talons, no major changes to note outside of patch notes. Okay, this one just looks cooler and should look a little less buggy when used against immobilized immune targets. All right. Dragon Blood, this ability in the Green Dragon Blood morph. Now heal based on your maximum health and increase based on your missing health, rather than scaling exclusively off your missing health. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it scaling off your missing health was kind of garbage. Maybe it was a good idea, but in practice was not good. It made it inaccessible for most tanks, and they would often use it in a very poor manner. This should make them more reliable and comparable to other self-heals. They'll still be weaker at higher health, though, compared to other abilities like it. That's kind of fine. It just means that it's like a built-in oh shit button. That's fine. Blood of the Green Dragon, originally Green Dragon's Blood. This morph has just a slight name change. Okay. Blood of the Elder Dragon, originally coagulating blood. This morph continues to change the heal scaling to offensive stats, and it now also heal allies within 10 meters of you for 2/3 of the original scaling. Okay. It also grants minor courage and major fortitude to any healed target, instead of just major fortitude to you. Support builds may like this one. Yeah. That's cool. I like the changes to this is a little bit lackluster. I mean, it's fine. This is a skill that has never really felt good to me, Dragon's Blood. Blood of the Elder Dragon here is, and this being now a heal that your healer can use, I I like it. I like this. I don't. We'll have to see how the whole kit kind of mashes together. We have seen more ways to get minor courage, which I really like from class skills in the current meta and the way things are set up now. So overall, I'm digging it. Its skill defensive stat was only remotely good in PvP. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess that could also be better in PvP. You'll have to help me out with the PvP stuff. Wing buffet. Wing buffet. Originally protective scale. I wouldn't have said anything, but they said something, and now I can't unsee buffet. Wing buffet. This ability and the protective plate morph now knock enemies within 6 meters of you back 4 meters after a slight delay. These abilities continue to reduce your damage taken from ranged and projectile attacks by 50% for 6 seconds. After activating, these abilities now grant major expedition. Move from fiery grip for 4 seconds after activating as well. Let those wings unfurl. That's pretty cool. That makes a lot of sense. It also makes this. I guess there's basically like multiple niche uses of the skill, in one skill, and I think that works well. It's not too powerful because it's always niche. It seems like. I don't like it knocking them back, enemies back. That could be very problematic for a tank to use. So that's a little bit confusing. But I guess, a wing buffet would absolutely do that. Yeah, I don't know. Fleet step wings, originally protective plate. This morph now has a name change. Okay. Protect the brood, originally dragonfire scale. This morph has been reworked to be a support morph. It no longer deals flame damage back to attackers while active and sacrifices the new area knockback on activation. This morph grants group members within 15 meters 25% reduced damage taken from projectiles for 6 seconds and adds minor protection for 20 seconds to you and group members affected. Wow, okay. This is my skill, so I should make sure I understand it here real quick. So it's a support morph. Appreciate that they just spell that out. Doesn't do flame damage back to attackers. And it gets rid of the knockback that we said was problematic, so that's good. It now grants, everybody within 12 meters. Hopefully that means up to 11 people. 25% reduced damage taken from projectiles for 6 seconds and adds minor protection for 20 seconds. This is I love this because as a tank, you're more actively able to buff your group and protect them. And I love that. I would like to see more things like this. So far, these have been really great changes, guys. It continues to grant you major expedition as well. Note this effect cannot stack with itself or any other version of the range damage reduction. Okay, cool. I like it. I dig it. The knockback can be clutch in PvP, but I suppose so long as stun animation is longer, it will still be good for cheese. Yeah. Well, I don't know about the other morph if that's what you would just go with in that case. You don't give minor protection and you don't give the reduce missile damage, which I assume would be quite good. Change, but then you're not in melee if you're using that probably since it's missile damage. Well, I say that maybe you are actually. I don't know. Chains of Flame, originally fiery grip. This ability and its morph damage now always applies burning for more synergistic gameplay with other parts of the Dragon Knight skill kit. We added a new special sound effect to the act of successfully pulling enemies, helping dial up the satisfaction of controlling your foes. That's cool, but it's also super helpful to telegraph that the skill actually worked and that they're not like immune. This ability and the unrelenting grip morph now apply major cowardice for 10 seconds to the enemy. Ooh, that's a juicy time frame, rather than granting a major expedition for 4 seconds to make them more effective for tanks. I'm digging these changes, guys. Chains of Domination, originally unrelenting grip, increases the duration of major cowardice to 15 seconds to match taunt timers. Gotta like it. I like it. This is interesting. Are we going to see more major cowardice being put on skills? Continues to refund the ability if the target is not pulled. This is all great, guys. Chains of Devastation. This morph now grants major evasion for 10 seconds after activating to help you shrug off some of the damage you may receive by diving headfirst into combat. We increase the duration of the Major Berserk to 6 seconds, up from 4 to help with more worthwhile use of its rotation. Note that this is the burning application to help it do notable more damage. So beware the Dragonite who pulls themselves to you. Okay. Cool. That's awesome. And Burnished Scales, originally Iron Skin. This passive now just has a name change. World and Ruin. This passive now increase your damage done with area and damage over time attacks by 3% at rank 1. And it goes up to 7% at rank 2, rather than increasing flame and poison damage. Elder Dragon. This passive now increases your health recovery up to, the health recovery is like the garbage stat, up to 700 based on your missing health. This passive now grants you and nearby members minor brutality for 20 seconds. When you activate a draconic ability, move from what was originally Mountain's Blessing. Okay. So the health recovery is like kind of nonsense. Like nobody cares. It doesn't matter. But, you know, this is where the minor brutality comes from now. Basically turn DK chains into the scribing chains. So can now run different debuff on scribing chains. Yeah, that's fair. Eating good so far. There's one situation where health recovery is cool. Healing Curse on second boss, Ossian Cage. Yeah, there's like a couple of like rare situations. But in general, it's near worthless. The Storm Voice, originally Battle Roar. This passive now grants you 8 health, magic, and stamina per ultimate spin at rank 1, 16 at rank 2, plus 3 of these values per Dragonite ability slotted at rank 1 and 6 at rank 2, rather than 18 health, magic, and stamina per ultimate spent at rank 1 and 37 at rank 2. What? Jeez, guys, they didn't need to give us all the rank detail here. This is a bit much. So 16 at rank 2 and 16 at rank 2 plus 6 per ability, Dragonite ability slotted. So to get it back up to like the 37 mark, you need about three or 4 skills slotted. Okay. I mean, that's fine. That's a little bit convoluted, but yeah. This should make this passive relatively effective for any who obtain it, while being even more effective for those who go all into the Dragonite experience. This will be a buff at 3 or more Dragonite abilities, while being weaker at 3 or at less than 3. Okay. Could have led with that too. I don't think, I've talked about this before, but I don't think anybody wants balance based on resources. Nobody wants the resource minigame to be a thing. So I mean, it's fine, but I just don't think that should be a thing. I wish they would take this out of being important to the rotation. I mean, for PvP, obviously this could be huge, right? Because you pop this and you're getting full resources again. So that's pretty massive. It makes your already strong ultimate even stronger, and basically resets the fight. I guess if they're going for that attrition thing, then this is like one way they can do it. I personally don't love it, and would like to see something different and more done about this whole thing. But I might be in the minority there. I don't know. I'm sure people who find it really strong will tell me how wrong I am. This plus major fortitude from coagulating blood will make a lot less difference for that heal check. Yeah, I think it's in regard to the health recovery. Yeah. Health recovery in 2026. All right. Earth and Heart. We'll try to go quick through these. And then Magma Armor. We increase the base duration by 12 to 15 seconds on this ultimate and the Magma Shell Morph, up from 7 to 10 seconds, but remove the flame damage on both of these versions. Okay, this means that these effects will no longer scale with the Elfbane item set. All right. Magma Shell will increase the radius of the shell granted to 28 meters for this morph, up from 28 meters. So more allies actually get the shield, increases the shield size to 130 to 133% of the target's max health, up from 100%. Okay. Corrosive armor. This morph now deals flame damage instead of poison damage. This means the effect can now scale with Elfbane. Base duration remains 10 seconds. So they're turning Elfbane into like a damaging thing instead of like a longer duration on your immunity to dying. Base duration remains 10 seconds. We increase the damage per tick by 300%. This morph continues to cause you to ignore enemy armor while active, but now affects all damaged attacks instead of just direct damage. To account for these massive power buffs, agreed, the damage limit has been adjusted to 8% of your max health rather than 3%, causing you to take significantly more damage while the ultimate is active. Okay. I mean, it was pretty easy to out heal 3%. I don't know if 8% is going to be a game changer. I don't know about all that. Is this not massively powerful still in PvP? That doing a ton of damage, and just making this like crazy strong. You're also going to get, if you're a full DK, which I guess that's cool now. You might have a reason to be a full DK. You get full resources as well. I don't know. Maybe it's okay. This morph has always struggled to be a decent damage ultimate outside of PvP. Yeah, because it makes you where you can't fucking die. So it doesn't need to be a strong damaging morph. What are you talking about? Despite presenting as an incredibly potent one, additionally, a lot of the balance of the ultimate felt counterintuitive to the class design, failing to amplify the core part of their kit, damage over time effects. To compensate for making this more of a damage ultimate, we're dialing back how tanky you become while it's active. That's questionable, and we'll continue to monitor these effects. Yeah, you guys do that. In general, seeing a Dragon Knight activate this should instill immediate fear into their enemy, but not hopelessness. I mean, fair. That's a noble goal, but I'm not sure. It's super powerful in PvP, but you're not unkillable anymore. Yeah, being not unkillable is a low bar, though, right? We can all agree that that's a low bar. Dot DK is pretty disgusting now for PvP. Just keep spamming cheap dots and pop corrosive and blow them up. It's a wild buff. I'm kind of here for it, Boss says. Yeah. Superheated Ward, originally Stone Fist. This is now a magic ability that grants you and an ally a sizable damage shield, scaling off your max magicka and stamina. We increase the cost to 4,590, so 4,600 basically. Think of this as a superheating of the air around your target so intense that it prevents harm from coming through. This should help the support-oriented Dragon Knights have a more direct option to protect their allies while offering something completely different from the standard burst heal effect. Okay. I mean, we have shielding things, but okay. Volcanic Ward, originally Obsidian Shield. This morph now adds a healing effect when the shield ends to offer some supplementary healing to those you protect. I mean, I like the idea of adding some healing seals, so this is great. It also reduces the next instance of damage by 10% from any attack. Note that ends means the following: the shield is replaced, the shield's duration runs out, the shield breaks. I know what this means, but I think it's really helpful that they spell this out, and I hope they do that in the notes because it's very confusing to players. When I read a skill ends, I don't think if I recast it that the previous instantiation ended. That's very non-intuitive. And so I hope they include this language in the tooltip or something because it's very non-intuitive. Elfbane will probably be considered again as a solid DPS choice for DKs. Oh, that'd be cool. I mean, it would be nice to have like, class-based, buff sets again, or sets that you want to choose. I mean, not that we've ever had that incredibly well, but I mean, DK being one of the few. What they need to do is make the effects more noticeable. Okay. Um, in regards to exactly what? Sorry. Honestly, the flavor behind it is pretty cool. I like the concept of a damage shield. Yeah, I like that too. Magmafist, originally Stone Giant. This morph continues to focus on a stamina morph for a damage dealers at range with some support functionality behind it, but it is significantly simpler to use. This morph now deals flame damage instead of physical damage. This morph no longer splits between two distinct versions or has a cast time. Its debuff has been renamed to Heat Shock, originally Stagger. Okay. Lasts for 10 seconds, up from 5 seconds, and now causes enemies to take 33 more damage from all sources per tick, down from 65. It also no longer stuns enemies on the third cast. How do you feel about your Stone Giant? Luna said this is a sad change. Yeah. Interesting. This should rectify much of the complaints of this morph, which rightfully deemed it clunky and difficult to manage. The duration now follows the Dragon Knight's dot timers of 10 seconds. Doesn't require different range activations and skills for more effectively for the rest of their kit in general. We expect to hear some back in my day stories from tanks and DPS who lived with a previous version in years to come. Oh man, I mean, it's true. It's true. That's pretty funny. At least they're self-aware. They know it. I'm okay about removing the cast portion of the skill, but nerfing the buff is just too sad. I mean, is it? They're the only one who gets unique buffs. What about the rest of us, Luna? The rest of us need buffs too, you know? The effect of corrosive armor, I mean, in PvP, half the time you can't tell when it's active until you start getting chunked for 8k a second. Okay, I understand what you mean now. Lena says the buff was not that strong. How much damage was it doing though? Is it bugged or something? I thought it was doing significant amounts of damage. You would deploy your brain power to squeeze 2k DPS for each DD. I thought it was significantly more than that. Was it not? I mean, I believe you. You're telling me that. Molten Weapons. This ability in its morph now causes the caster's light and heavy attacks to deal an additional hit of flame damage. Up to once every 2 seconds. This is akin to a sticky damage over time effect in terms of number scalings and should add some more value to the skill line for damage dealers. While it may not boast raw numbers over other specialized effects, the group utility is more than enough to make up for that to warrant consideration. Okay. So is this not going to grant? I don't remember which morph granted Empower. It was cool to be able to get Empower from a skill. I don't know. Didn't one of these morphs do that? I thought that was cool. DK was one of the few class skills that Empower was on. I don't remember where it's at without looking at it now. Obsidian Shield, no large base changes for this one. Just some number cleanup to account for the removal of Eternal Mountain passive being reworked. Igneous Shield, we increased the shield size of the caster's version of the shield to about 12%. So it's closer to the standard self-shield ability. Okay, Fragmented Shield, this morph. The problem with Igneous, yeah, I don't love this. I think I could have done more. They've done a lot for group utility, so maybe it's fine. Fragmented Shield, this morph now scales with the caster's max magicka or stamina rather than max health, so it's more effective for support builds. I hope so. We now potentially have multiple shields for a DK, essentially, so like a shield healer now. We'll have to see how this works out. Petrify, this ability and its morph now have the real bona fide counterplay. Rather than instantly stunning the enemy target, ignoring both block and dodge, these abilities now reduce enemies' target movements by 50% for 1 second. Excuse me. After 1 second, the target will become stunned for 4 seconds, or 8 seconds if they are a monster. This stun continues. Does that mean like Daedric gets stunned for 8 seconds since he killed a Jerboa? I think that's what that means. This stun continues to bypass block, but does not bypass dodge. These abilities now also apply minor breach to the enemy for 10 seconds. Upon activation, helping give a potential, albeit rare, PvE use case. All right, these abilities can now be cast on CC immune targets, so beware. Oh. This ability in the fossilized morph can no longer deal damage when the stun ends. We reduce the cost to account for these changes. Chimera's a monster. Hey, Daedric, you're still here, man. What's up? Hey, dude, I wasn't talking trash about you, but, you did kill that Jerboa, so, Lyria will never forget. Fossilized, this morph continues to mobilize after the stun ends, but it now also applies minor vulnerability and extends the duration of the minor buffs to 20 seconds. Shattering Rocks, this morph keeps the damage and healing on stun ends. We increased the amount of damage and healing done by 15% to account for the new delay. Earth Spike Mantle, originally spiked armor. This ability and its morphs now increase your damage done by 100 on all hits while active, rather than causing you to deal damage back to melee attackers. This effect should make the ability far more useful to damage dealers instead of being a largely exclusive survivability tool. The damage done bonus may seem small, but it adds up over the course of a fight. Interesting. I would be curious to see how that works on... This would be really cool if this were like a meta skill on like fights where you were taking in PvE where you're taking a bunch of damage. I struggle to see that happening, but maybe. Shatterspark Mantle, originally volatile armor. This morphs damage over time effect now scales off your offensive stats, or like doing damage as a tank. I don't know. Rather than your armor, doubling down as a viable damage option for DPS, while also helping you stay in the fight in the front lines with the extra armor. Additionally, when dealing damage with the effect, you add one additional stack of Avalanche up to once every 10 seconds. This should help slightly expedite the time it takes to reach max stacks. Okay. We're kind of like leaning into the, stacking and stuff. Similar to several other classes with various skills, but I'm here for it. It's fine. It's pretty much like Hurricane now, I'd say. Yeah, that's fair. All right, Heart of Stone, originally scaled armor. This passive has just a name change inspired by lovers of rocks and stone. Okay, I did think Heart of Stone was a really good name change. Avalanche, originally Eternal Mountain. This skill is named this to show that we don't know what an avalanche is, and to invite player engagement by correcting us on the internet. Okay, I actually didn't read all that. That was my take. But this passive now causes you to gain a stack of avalanche when you deal damage, increasing your damage done by 1% per stack up to 10 times. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds for rank 1 and 5 seconds for rank 2. Every 2 seconds you fail to deal damage, you lose a single stack. Okay. I guess this is the ramp up ability. Yeah, I don't know. It seems pretty cool to me. I like this overall. I think it's pretty cool. I even like the failing to do damage thing. I mean, if you have dots on somebody, like you're going to be doing damage. But yeah. Blessing at the peak, originally Mountain's Blessing. No big changes for this one. The group buff was moved to Elder Dragon passive, and the ultimate generation remains here. Mountain Giant, originally Helping Hands. This passive has been reworked. It now causes your fully charged heavy attacks to apply off balance to the enemy. This applies after the damage, so you can't instantly stun the target with this. Additionally, rank 2 of this passive causes you to fully charge heavy attacks and generate 1,430 stamina. This is considered a proc, so no interplay with other effects. Okay. So it's a way of getting back extra stamina, even when using a magic, a Destro Staff to heavy attack, on top of whatever restore you'd normally grant to help get some of the original passives functionality. Cool. The Avalanche subclass, they need to tweak those numbers. Yeah. I could see that. This passage should pair nicely with Lava Whip, which also gives you a much more controlled and simple way of triggering off balance in general. Phew, as we can see, we weren't kidding when we said we were doing a complete rework of the Dragonite class. We can test all these changes. You can test all these changes for yourself. In update 49 arrives on the public test server on Monday, January 12th. We're eager to hear your feedback and see how the fiery class performs in your hands. Don't forget the Dragon Knight class refresh is part of Season 0, but it will go live with Update 49 on March 9th for all platforms. Be sure to share your thoughts on the above changes with us via blah, blah, blah. They're just trying to get engagement here. Don't forget to give us engagement. We think you'll like this, so tell everybody how great. I mean, they got to promote their game. I'm not hating. I'm not hating. Hold on one second. Let me hop in comms here. And Luna, I want to hear your thoughts. Daedric and Miles, anybody else who wants to hop in here, let me know. Send me a DM if you can't get in the channel. I'll hop into the good old working channel. I hope red beam does more damage than green beam. Otherwise, my disappointment will be immeasurable and my day will be ruined. Oh, man, that's a skinny cheeked quote. Luna!
Hello.
What do you think of all these changes? Let's hear it.
Oh, it was a long read indeed, and it took my entire day, honestly, like just thinking about it and gathering like different opinions and like watching you now. I watched Skim Cheeks before. Everybody has different takes on it. I like it. Like, how not to like it? Like, they're making very reasonable changes and fun changes. And I think the fun aspect is very important, and they nailed it like in several skills. So I don't know. I like the direction this is going. Again, we cannot talk about balance at this point. We don't know the numbers. They will probably change a bunch of stuff. They're also trying like to be like more open to feedback. So we hope we have like a better PTS, a week's experience
That's a
of
great
updates
point.
and like tweaking stuff.
Yeah, that's a great
But it
point.
looks
We're
nice.
gonna
It looks in
see
the right
if they
direction.
actually listen to feedback for once, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I did hear people coming out of the woodworks to try to like read this and hear about it. So maybe some of those people that have kind of given up will come back.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's positive. It looks hopeful. Like, are we allowed to be hopeful again? Because it looks nice.
I mean, yeah, like I'm still tentatively like we've continued to see better and like good news and hear good things. It's still a little bit scary because I do recognize all the faces and stuff, and we do see some of the same people. But yeah, like overall, I mean, if they keep this up, like I want to see continued change before I'm like on the train of like, hey, Zoss has turned it around. But um, right now, it really looks like the ship is turning. Do we know if it's
Yeah,
around? We don't know, but it does look like it's turning, I guess.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I'm not a DK main. Like, this update is definitely like not the biggest thing for me at all because like I'm not the person that is mostly affected by it. And
Right.
honestly, if we think about it, like as a tank class, I would say it's worse now. Being like 100% honest with you, it's not as appealing for me as a tank anymore. Because like before, it would be easy choice, earth and heart. You have everything that you need, like molten armaments. Not no, I mean igneous weapons. You had the mountains blessing buff there as well. You had the stagger there. Everything was kind of combined on one skill line. You had magma. Everything was kind of there, but now mountains blessing is not there anymore. Stagger is not that big of a thing anymore. Igneous weapons has some damage, so it wouldn't be so detrimental to have it on a DPS. So it doesn't look like super appealing for tank. This update in general, we have more tank tools in other skill lines as well, but since they like all spread, um, what I feel like when this like gets in the game and it's the first class changed is that we won't be using this as a tank because it doesn't have like enough tools in a single skill line while we have like other skill lines that are much more appealing with combined tools there. But this is probably a step in the right direction because like after several class changes this will make more sense with time.
Can you? They did say that they wanted what? Maybe it was up. Maybe it's in this message. Didn't they say? Haven't they said about like not wanting people to have to like bring certain skill lines
Oh
being a
yeah.
thing? Did they say that? Am I making that up?
I don't know. I don't remember everything
Okay.
that is written there.
Yeah.
I have to admit I skipped most of it, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I think it's I don't know it. How do you think it's going to work out for optimization? Also, hello to Viper, hello to Franny, and welcome back. And it seems like this is tempting other people back too. Yeah. I had someone who was telling me that they were like about how kind of done they were with ESO, and then been telling me that for like weeks to a couple of months. And I know that they popped on today to check out all this stuff. But so yeah, it's definitely changed, which is great. I mean, that's great for the game. I hope people are enjoying it. I hope they
Yeah.
continue to enjoy it. Um, Group optimization. I feel like this could make it much more difficult, don't you think?
Yeah, it will. It will
Yeah.
make much more difficult. Like even now, it's like only one class. It's already much more difficult for us to envision because they put enough tools in the DK to kind of make you want to try the pure DK experience and not necessarily like full subclass. How it will be compared to subclassing, we don't know yet, of course.
Yeah.
They still have to do some adjustments, but it looks more competitive now. That's for sure.
How are the
But like it will be weird in this scenario that we have subclass totally unbalanced and these classes being made like one by one because every time they make one of those like
Yeah.
reworks, it will change the game
Uh-huh.
and it will make us like or dislike the change because of the current state of like hybrid game with subclassing OP and rework classes. Because since it's not like all the classes at the same time, it will be a little weird. But like just trying to envision a world after we have like all the classes reworked, it looks like it will be much harder to
I
choose skill lines.
yeah, I could
Like
see a
much harder.
yeah, I could see a world for like the average veteran player where like you just kind of go in with whatever cuz I don't know about a lot of people, but I'm kind of over it with the um I don't think you need to optimize for veteran trials anymore, and even
Yeah, yeah.
even mini hard modes like you did need to because damage has gone up so much. So I could see a world where I don't even remember which friggin' ability is now, but like the wings, I think, where it provides the damage reduction or damage reduction from missile attacks to your whole group. Like I could see if someone, it didn't matter who you had that who has that skill line. Like even if it was a DPS, being like, hey, throw on that skill and it'll keep people from randomly dying on Ash Titan, for example.
Yeah,
Can you
it
see
also
that being a
saved
thing?
a lot of times in the what is the name of the mechanic from Rockgrove still that the ads they burst, they explode
Oh
and
yeah.
throw knives. Anyway, like this skill would save a lot of times DDs there. So yeah, it was interesting. Like
Ash
this
Titan free
update in
real
a world
estate.
that we don't have subclass, it will be much easier like to enjoy and see like, oh, this is perfect. Like this update looks perfect.
Yeah.
In a world that we have subclass already, it's kind of mixed because will it fit the current situation that we have like with the other classes? So it's a little something to think about, but I think it's a step in the right direction, and I'm really happy about it because like not because of the DK itself. Like the DK is cool; they made cool changes, but like if they're making that much of a changes, like that much rework on the skill lines, I'm excited to see like sorcerer, to see warden, what they're going
Yeah.
to do about those classes.
Right, right. And I thought it was cool. Like they did make a bold move in taking out poison entirely because it didn't make sense. And I hope they make those bold moves with someone like Warden, which has some nonsensical. I don't know. Maybe they
Yeah,
consider Warden a monolith, and that's the way. But if they take the idea, if you're supposed to be a Warden, like why is most of the ice damage there? I don't know. But that could also upset people. So I don't know. And I'm someone who's I've done many builds on Frost Warden, just FYI. Uh, Jalovian says making optimization more difficult is a good thing. More classes will be usable. I kind of disagree because I think optimization is most important for beginners and for like newer groups, to be honest with you. So I'm concerned about them. And then from that aspect, I think making it more difficult is not necessarily good, but I do think these are good changes. So I think we can agree on that. Yeah. a couple of here. My main is Viper says my main is a DK since 2015, and the changes are exciting to see. Some things worry me, the removal of poison, but we'll see if that stays. I'm excited for all that. I think it's going to stay, man. I don't know. I think you dropped in here late, Viper, or maybe you just now dropped a comment. And you've been listening for a while, but so far, man, sticking with a flavor and everything, it seems really good. The other thing I'll say too is like if we like these things now, when we see the new animation and the audio attached to them, I think it's going to be pretty dope. I think we're going to be pretty excited. Um, Lenny says, I reckon in the circle I run in, likely the arc, blade, rune blades combo will be winning, and the pure DK just becomes the Zenkosh shield with the standard on. Yeah, have to see how the actual DPS pans out. Yeah, no, that's fair. But it's a combo of arc, blade, plus another line. Still gets high stats. What I see a lot, I reckon. Yeah, fair, fair. Yeah, it is going to be weird with them introducing these one at a time and like kind of disrupting everything. It's a little bit upsetting for whatever class is going to be in a year and a half from now. Just then getting updated. I guess that'll be an Arcanist, so it'll be the one before that. I don't know, but all classes complete by 2027. I think so. I think that's how the math works out.
Yeah.
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 I feel like a lot of my thoughts on this are I really need to study this. I guess that's what I'll be doing this weekend and understand where things are and what skill line to understand how it's going to affect, tanking class choices and healing class choices. I don't think there's anything major, but these are some pretty useful abilities. The main thing that sticks out is the standard. But I guess if like Lenny said here, if you put that on your Zenkosh and they're in buff support jail and they're full DK, then maybe that's all you need to do.
Yeah. I think it's hard to evaluate things now because we'll have like two type of classes in the game at the same time. You have like the reworked classes and
Uh-huh.
the classes that were like they were before.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because until we have everything, we won't have like a clear balance of it, but it's just something that we have to go through.
Yeah, yeah. And Lenny's pointing out, hell yeah. So if one of these is cheeks, one of these is bad, we're gonna have to deal with it until 2028. Yeah. I mean that's hopefully they do something in the interim, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if people realize how much, like how stronger some skills are. Like all the dots that were 20 seconds becoming 10 seconds dot, it's just very strong and make like the rotation very engaging as well. Because like imagine you're a pure decay, and now you have two 10 seconds dot. You have still you have like the talons, which is a 4 or 5 seconds dot. You have a spammable that since you're using like that many more skills from DK because you have a bunch of 10 seconds dot, you're stacking your whip all the time and it's doing double damage. You have like much more complexity in the rotation because it was already complex before subclassing was a thing. Like the DK playstyle was already like very specific way to play the class because of talons, which was a semi-spammable, because of how Flames of Oblivion work, that you have to wait for the final tick and use right after, and you have to be like in the right bar to do it so you don't lose damage. Everything was like so specifically done
Yeah.
in terms of optimizing your DPS, and now like two of your dots that last like 20 and 22 seconds, now they last 10 seconds. Like this makes considerably more complicated the rotation to work. But at the same time, we have skills that simplify some stuff, like the Dragon Breath, whatever it's called. We have the Leap as well. The Leap and Dragon Breath combo being something super easy, but at the same time looking very strong, like to clear AoE stuff.
Yeah, I would
So
say
we
that.
kind of have a mix of things.
Yeah, and I would say the changes are significant and so before with a previous administration, previous management, a lot of times they would tell us they were going to do things, and they would tell us things did something, and then we would look at the thing and it'd be like that doesn't do the thing you just said it would do.
Oh yeah.
So like they told us they're going to change this. They told us the goals they were going for, and it looks like they've delivered. Will there be issues? Will there be problems? Like invariably, yes. But I will say they do seem like they're delivering on that. I see Daedric, man. You jumped in here, dude. You got any thoughts? Any science or thoughts you want to drop on us, man?
Um, yeah, I've got a few. In general, I like the changes that they dropped here with the DK. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. The standard change was weird. We'll see how that pans out. I think it's not as much as a damage loss as people think it is.
Okay.
Because that morph that gives the weapon and spell damage to the caster as well, that gives like 800 weapon and spell damage, which is an insane amount before buffs. Like post
Yeah.
like all your percent buffs, it's like 1200 or 1500 or something ridiculous like that.
Oh, you know
So
what?
it end up being
I bet they were
Yeah.
reading it that it goes from 375 to 425, and you're saying it goes from 375 to 800.
yeah, it says
Yeah.
significantly increases. So I would not say 50 weapon and spell damage is a significant increase. I read it as it's additive.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
might be wrong.
No, I think you're right. I didn't pick that up. It's a little bit subtle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still way less. Lenny says still way less than the prior 15% damage done plus the actual damage.
It's
Well, the
kind of
thing is, with
it's
that
kind of the
much
same, the
damage done,
15%, but it doesn't have actual damage. That's the thing.
What are you going to say, Daedric?
I was
second
gonna say like that 15% from the weapon spell damage wouldn't be reduced, while 50% damage done would be reduced because you have all the other damage done modifiers. But then the fact that it doesn't have the tick damage probably makes it around the wash. I think I mentioned that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some
Lenny says on an individual level. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty interesting too. Like, I don't know what this is probably like the least that because current it's been so bad for so long that there's probably not many out there, but there's not really any DK healers out there. I know there's people that want it to be a thing just like I do. So we'll kind of see. Lenny says, "Imagine everybody in standard." Well, I think the buff only applies like once. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't apply for multiple people. It specifically says that, but that's fair. Daedric, sorry, man. What else? What else do you have? Or is there anything other thoughts that are like forefront of your mind?
Sorry, I looked at all this way earlier. I'm trying to remember all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, you're good, man. I appreciate you sending it to me and Luna as well, because I was playing dishwasher repairman sim IRL, and it wasn't super fun, but so that's what I was doing.
Take Flight looks really good as an ult now. It's basically an end cap that costs slightly more, but double the duration. So that's interesting. That's
And
also paired with
AoE,
the
it's
fire beam.
it's not only for one target, it's for everything that should do damage.
Yeah,
It's like an AoE in cap.
yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's very, very strong. So like this is why it doesn't hurt that much like losing the standard, because the standard now is a support, like ultimate, very strong support ultimate actually. But now you have Take a Flight, which is like so strong, like for PvE. But at the same time, like, will the skill line survive only because of that ultimate? Maybe, yes. Like it has like 3 good skills, I would say, which is like the dot, the dot that can be also like a channel that you like the kind of beam cone. You have the chains for Major Berserk for 6 seconds, that now every time that you cast chains, it also applies burning, so it's probably a valid something to semi-spammable. And you also have Talons on the skill line, so you have quite some interesting DPS tools now. Like, Take a Flight it's not like totally like isolated in a bad DPS skill line. And also we have to think about this now, because now like respecking your skills will be for free, and you can do like it at any time, at any point. So you can change the morph in the middle of the fight, like between point A to point like
Do we know
trash
that
and
for
boss.
sure,
You can
though?
change it.
Do we know that? Is that
We do, because they say it will be for free, and you can do this through the UI. So it's pretty much like
yeah, but
like,
but that could be like locked in content though.
could be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to wait on BTS to be 100%
Yeah,
sure, but it's
yeah.
likely going to work like that.
Okay.
Because you can already do that, Knight. You can already do that with scrolls.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Like respect scrolls, and that's kind of weird, to be honest, because it's almost like a pay-to-win feature that you can change your morphs like with scrolls, and you cannot without it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, Lenny says trial conf will be
So
insane.
I assume
you can do that mid trial.
Be able.
Yeah.
Imagine we swap subclass mid trial. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's probably too much. I don't know.
Let me pre-buff my 30 skills real quick.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I mean, I can't imagine that being useful for anybody but score pushers, but score pushing could be crazy. Would be horrific to make a roster. Yeah, no thank you. Yeah, I'm not interested personally. I mean, if you had a group that was really stuck and you could be like, "Listen, everybody's got to change the skills so it'll make the fight easier." Like, I would be cool with that, but I feel like that'll probably be pretty rare.
But changing morphs is probably something that add-ons will be doing like soon enough.
Yeah, man.
So it won't be like that hard, and people will definitely do this. Like it's if they put this in the game, people will use it. Like of course they will.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't be friggin' requiring people to do that in like a
Oh yeah.
someone's gonna do it for like a non-hard mode. Someone's gonna do it for like that's just for the sweatiest of sweats. But somebody's gonna be like, yeah, this is a pug VLC hard mode. Everybody needs to do some insane thing, and you're gonna be like, nah. I mean, hopefully if they do it, just nobody X's up. But like, yeah, the in-game community. It's funny. I think actually Lenny was telling me the other day that like he kind of took a break and he came back and is like kind of pointed out that what I've honestly been saying for a long time, and I quit saying it, so he hasn't heard it from me, I don't think. But like some of this optimization stuff gets too out of control, and it's like people trying to get people to optimize for stuff, and it's like, dude, we just want the people to not stand in the AOE and to basically press the right buttons. I don't think we need a 15-page roster with like super complicated. You got to run this and that. I don't know. That's just my two pennies. You guys can
Yeah, this
disagree,
is not
but
for everybody. Yeah, yeah.
um, what do you think? So do you guys have a vague idea of what a rotation looks like? It looks like there are vague two options. Are we thinking like a whip spammable with the breath channeled, or do you think people will use both, or what are you guys thinking?
It's either one or the other, I would say. Like in Breath Channel, for me, it looks like a trash fight skill. It doesn't look like it will be too strong in actual like content, actual boss fight, especially because Whip already have cleave damage now. Like the off balance proc makes it do like AoE damage, which is kind of crazy. Like Whip is strong to a point that is definitely like the way it is right now. It's definitely the strongest spammable in the game. Like nothing can compare to it because it will be constantly doing double damage, which is almost like a bull proc. Like I said before, like it's crazy damage. Um, and since you have much more semi-spammables in your build, obviously I'm assuming pure decay here because it's hard to assume like in a subclass environment. But assuming pure decay, you have so many more semi-spammables now because of two dots of 10 seconds, major berserker of 6 seconds from chains that you maybe use. Still don't know. You have talons. So a lot of the times that you'll be using like the whip, it will be stacked and it will be doing double damage or something closer to that. So it looks too strong, honestly. But I think the breath will be like for let's do trash fights. Maybe you have like a short burn that you're doing on a cleave fight, like a mini boss or something. Maybe makes sense. I don't know. We'll need to see like the damage, how the damage actually is, because we don't have numbers. It doesn't look like super strong because like if you take like engulfing flames, which is the skill which is it's based on,
Yeah,
and just like make it a channel ability that it will be ticking its damage like every something of a second, it's still going to be like quite weaker than an arc beam. But maybe fully stacked with the take flight ultimate, maybe this will be comparable damage. We don't know. So we have to see the numbers on PTS. So it will be a very interesting Monday, I would say.
right. Lots of probably insane parses coming out. Daedric, you got any thoughts?
Yeah. What Miles said in the chat about the whip rotation being similar to pre U35 DK is pretty accurate. Like, when all the dots were like half duration, anyways, it's
Yeah.
probably going to look a lot like that. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I mean, it'll be cool if you can get like most of the damage or some appreciable amount with using the channeled breath. Like, I think that'd be pretty cool because you could have like a buff Zenkosh build for people that would be it's a buff setup, which you often put your inexperienced player in because they're going to do less damage anyways. If you could do that and still have them be able to like potentially have an increase in their effective damage, even if the overall like maximum possible damage goes down, I think that could be really cool too for the average veteran trial group comp.
Yeah.
That might be
Yeah.
hopium I'm puffing on, but it's a thought, I
So-
suppose.
Something else with the fire beam build is the passive in the first tree, what is it called? Fan the Flames, where it increases your chance of applying burning and increases the damage it does. Since that beam will most likely tick 3 times a second like the arc beam, that passive could be absolutely disgusting if you stack like all DK abilities on your front bar and just beam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it'll be taken every second. Well, or I guess we don't know if it's gonna. They said once every second for several things, but we don't know if it's gonna tick. Do we know if it's gonna tick 3 times a second?
The duration's 4.8 seconds, which is I'm pretty sure that's the same as like base beam, or is base beam 4.4? I can't remember.
I thought it was 4, or base beam was
Let me check.
4. I thought it was 3.5 for one of them, and the other one went up to 4.5. I thought it was 3.5 and 4.5, but Luna's checking for us.
Yeah, it's 4 seconds base.
Oh, okay.
And you can extend with the crux, with the exhausting.
Where's 4.8?
It
Is
hits
that
every
Jesus beam?
0.3. Yeah.
I think this one said it goes for 4. Oh, you're saying something else was 4.8?
yeah.
Honestly, I'm not sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, overall, still interesting, and that's a good point because I mean that would be a lot of ticks of that flame damage, which is the flame burning status effect. Just for those who know, is just a dot, so it just would add more damage, essentially to
Yeah, it's
it.
pretty much the same as Fate Carver exhausting because it's 4.9 in the
4.9.
tooltip. It says like if you have like all the 3 cruxes, but maybe with all the rounding that maybe it's doing, it's kind of the same.
Yeah, maybe it's the same. Okay. Well, I mean that's still cool. Yeah. Well, cool guys. I guess any parting thoughts or anything? I think we're all pretty hyped for this.
Yeah, I'm happy that I'm hyped for anything ESO related. Like that's the win of the day, I would say. Like
Yeah.
it's so nice to be happy and like looking forward to something finally.
Yeah.
All right. I know you guys mentioned Warden earlier. I just want to say, I'm going to predict this now. There are 3 classes that are getting worked this year. DK, Warden, Sword. DK's Fire, Sword's Lightning, Warden's Ice. I think the Warden rework is going to double down on ice damage.
I
Oh,
hope so because
okay.
I would love it, honestly.
all right.
But it's hard. The warden is the hardest one of them because they have like 3 so distinct skill lines.
I like
They have
that.
nothing to do with each
I,
other.
I don't really care what happens. I just like that prediction. Well, I guess we'll see.
I think the Shocks will be ice. I think that's one of the big ones.
Yeah, it's just healing. Like, is it gonna be ice healing? It just
They
Maybe
be more
change
like
like it makes
ice.
like icy pets. It's easy.
yeah.
Easy.
Man, you know what? Some skins for some pets would also be something they've been getting feedback about. Like they used to ban people from the chat for putting that in on the live streams, and I hope that is like, yeah, it would it's just going to be a complete game changer if they actually start listening to the community now, and the game will go from like kind of heading towards death, you know, the slow MMO death, to like actually being pretty hype in the future. So, hey, let's keep puffing on that
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I'm
copium.
happy because I'm seeing content creators doing videos about it. I'm seeing people happy, people looking forward. A lot of
Yes.
videos, like since the last stream with the roadmap for 2026, like people are making videos. People that didn't even play the game like for months and years, like creators that wouldn't cover ESO for a long time, and they're hyped. So this is great. Like
That's
let's
awesome.
hope for the best.
Yeah. Well, cool guys. Well, thanks everybody for making. No, Lyriel, I just said that was like a hope. That Lyriel's like making skin for bets, all cap exclamation marks. Yeah, like a warden wolf. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I could honestly see it happening. I really could. I really could. I mean, I think so many people have asked for it, and I think what they've been doing with a lot of that stuff has just been completely ignoring the community, and these guys seem to be listening. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. Well, thank you both for dropping in. Lenny, thanks for your info as well, and everybody else for tuning in, guys. We're gonna call it here. For right now, we're gonna be back in like an hour. I think we gotta fill for a trial. So we'll be playing some more ESO. But again, thank you both for dropping in, guys. I appreciate all of your knowledge and insight.
Thank you, Knight. Have a good night. Have a good run.
Good
I'm
night.
hopping out.
All right, guys. We'll catch you guys later. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you guys in just about an hour. I'm just going to go grab some dinner with my lovely wife. All right, guys. We'll catch you in a bit. Thanks, everybody.